Let's move to our next topic, which is marker interface. What is marker interface? A blank empty interface which doesn't contain any method inside it or any data members inside it is known as marker interface. Now the question is why we need that type of interface. The purpose of marker interface is just to marking up certain classes or certain implementation, that these implementation or these particular classes are having that capability or having that privilege which makes that class or that implementation eligible for performing certain operation. Okay, let me explain you with the example. For example, I have a serializable predefined interface, and that serializable interface is a marker interface, which means that is not containing any method inside it. Okay, now serializable interface is used only for marking up a class. Serialization is something converting your Java class object into byte stream. Okay, and the classes which are implementing serializable interface are only allowed to convert Java object into byte stream. Okay, now serializable interface is just marking up your class, is not having any functionality within that interface. It is just marking up your class, that your class is having that capability, having that privilege, that your class object can be converted into byte stream. Okay, so it is making my code more readable. When new person will join the team and will read your code, will easily understand that your Java class is eligible for serialization or not by just looking at the top where you are mentioning your Java class implementing serializable interface. So serializable interface implementation is just marking up that your class is having that capability or having that privilege to perform that operation of converting Java class object into byte stream object. So marker interface is just for marking purpose. It makes my code more readable. Okay, similar to serializable, we have another interface called cloneable interface, which is used to make my class eligible to create the clone of my class object. Okay, again it is empty, but if you are implementing cloneable interface, that means that your class object is clonable, means you can create the clone of your Java class object. Okay, we can better understand this by creating a custom marker interface. Let's see the implementation of it. In this implementation, I have a product class which is having product name and price, and I am initializing them by using constructor. I have another entity which is user class. Again, it is having username and email, and I'm initializing it by using its constructor. Okay. Now I have one interface called auditable, and that's a marker interface. That auditable interface is just marking up any class where we are implementing it and making that class eligible for auditing. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm implementing auditable interface to my user class and not implementing auditable to my product class, which means that user class object is only auditable or is eligible for auditing, but product class object is not eligible for auditing. Okay, now I'm implementing actual logic of auditing in my audit service class. Always remember, service classes are used to hold business logic, actual business logics. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I have one audit method which is implementing actual business logic to perform auditing, and I have a main method here. Okay, inside main method I am first instantiating user class object and product class object, and then I'm calling audit method on both of the objects. Now what this method is going to do, it is receiving user class object and product class object inside object reference. How it is holding in object, because every class is having parent as object class, and child class object can be held in parent class object. That's why I am holding here user object inside object of object, and product also holding in the same object of object. If you don't understand it, don't worry. In today's class itself, we are going to understand how the object class works, how object class is a parent of all Java classes. Okay, as of now what I'm doing in here is I'm just validating that whether the object which is coming from the audit calling is instance of auditable or not, which means whether it is implementing auditable interface or not. If it is implementing, that means that is eligible for auditing, and I'm saying auditing changes, and I'm printing the object of that. I need to actually write the logic to perform auditing here, but I'm not getting into that because I just want to show you how the marker interface is working. So here marker interface is just making user class object eligible for auditing. Okay, and in case when I'm passing product class object, it is not going to be accept as an auditable object, and then it will say no auditing is required. If I run this, you can see I'm getting here auditing changes for user object, but no auditing required for product. So this marker interface is just for the marking purpose that this my class is having that certain eligibility or having that certain scope or privilege to perform a certain type of operation or not.